Okay, hi y'all. I'm going to talk a little bit about big kid stuff, about physical gold and silver in your hand. I got this email from a friend, reader. Saw your video. Have you looked into CF and GTU? I have a good amount of money. Thinking about, I would love some input. So, anyways, I haven't researched CEF or GTU. Jason Hamlin, one of my colleagues, he wrote an article about it. But I don't have time to research, read through all these legal documents of all these different alternatives that are out there. Hire an attorney to read it. It'll only be a couple $100 an hour to read the things. I can see why you'd want me to read it, but for free. But sorry, I don't have the time. Jim Sinclair, he was talking about time for delivery. He's talking about how the Canadian Mint's present problems are not unique, that other vaults have army of auditors down there. Some of these depositories have names so famous that it would scare the heck out of you. This really isn't a new topic, new issue. Clear back in September on the Daily Source Code, in an interview, I talked about how there's maybe 140 ounces of paper gold for every 1 ounce of physical gold. And so there are a lot of people who think they own the gold, but they don't necessarily own the gold. And that's what's happening with the Royal Canadian Mint right now, is that there's about $20 million in lost precious metals. They're investigating. Our army of auditors have gone down there, and it's really shaken some confidence in the Royal Canadian Mint, operated up there in Canada. And GATA, they hit on the issue here, because they say just as there may be plenty of gold left at Fort Knox, but those are not the compelling questions. No, the most compelling questions are who really owns that gold and how many people have claims to it. And kind of what I'm talking about is, the 140 ounces of paper gold, but only 1 ounce of physical gold. And, well, possession's 9/10 of the rule. You got possession of the gold, well, it's going to be hard to pry it out of your fingers. Anyways, John Nadler, in his article, he gave a little commentary about this. A lot of ill-informed noise about the Royal Canadian Mint's gold reconciliation story. Some market advisors found an opportunity in this story to try to instigate some kind of a run on custodial accounts and other mints around the world. How pathetic, he says. We reaffirm 100% degree of confidence in the RCM's ability. RCM has issued a letter on the subject matter to assure everyone that their metal is there. We expect a complete report of the findings. But then this gets really funny right here. Some overzealous alarmists need to get a grip and learn how vaults, insurance policies, and such operate in the real world. Until then, we can only call them saboteurs, and anyone who listens to them sadly misinformed. Well, how's a user agreement or prospectus supposed to be constructed? Let's look at Gold Money's user agreement, because I am familiar with them and I've thoroughly read through it and looked at their processes. A user may, with delivery instructions, at any time request Gold Money to change the gold grams and silver ounces in their holdings into grams of gold or ounces of silver that are available for physical delivery to the user. So there we go, physical delivery at any time with Gold Money. And that's what you should be looking for, whether you're looking at CEF or GTU or any of these other Royal Canadian Mint, Perth Mint, eGold. Whoever it is that you're looking at, you want to be able to take physical delivery at any time. Or the GLD ETF that has huge problems with it, physical delivery at any time. Why do you buy gold? You buy it so that you don't have this type of risk, so you don't have these type of headaches. You buy it because it's risk-free. If you've got to wait for some complete report or letter on the subject matter to assure you that your gold's safe, sounds like you're sadly misinformed. And what do? Do you demand physical delivery and be a saboteur of some type of a Ponzi scam? But, the funny part's these overzealous alarmists. how such operate in the real world. Well, what type of real world? The real world where there's physical gold bullion in your hand, or this illusory derivative world where you have some type of a claim on the gold in the vault, along with 140 other people. Of course, there's only 1 ounce of physical gold in there, so who owns it? If you're Chicken Little, if you've got a little bit of you're a little worried about your gold or silver with a third-party storage system, I definitely agree with this statement right here. Get a grip. Yeah, I think you should get a grip on your physical gold bullion or silver bullion. Get a grip by demanding physical delivery right here, right now. That'll fix this problem real quick. Just demand the gold in your hand. Get a grip on it.
Maybe they should be called not-so-safe deposit boxes. Carla Ruff's box was drilled, seized, and turned over to the state of California. Owner unknown.
I was appalled.
Unknown? Carla's name was right on documents in the box. So was her address, a house about 6 blocks from the bank. Carla had a checking account at the bank, too. Still does, and receives regular statements. Plus, she has receipts showing she's the kind of person who paid her box rental fee.
They're zealously uncovering accounts that are not unclaimed.
What's worse, Carla discovered the loss when she went to her box to retrieve important paperwork she needed because her husband was dying. Those papers had been shredded, and that's not all.
She's wearing the pearls.
Her great-grandmother's precious natural pearls and other jewelry had been auctioned off, sold for less than $1,800, even though they were appraised for $82,000.
These things were things that she gave to me, and I valued them because I loved her.
Carla Ruff is not alone. Attorney Bill Palmer represents her and countless other citizens in a class action lawsuit.
They figured that the safety deposit box was safer than keeping it under their mattress. And in the case of a lot of citizens, they were wrong, weren't they?
Some states keep unclaimed property in a special trust fund, but others, like California, dump it into the general fund.
You acknowledge that you inherited a situation where the state was using this free money.
That's absolutely correct.
In fact, ABC News obtained an internal memo in which the attorney for the Bureau of Unclaimed Property argued against expanding programs to notify rightful owners. He wrote it could well result in additional claims of monies that would otherwise flow into the general fund.
What we've done here over the last 2 decades has been dead wrong. Right? We've kept the property and not provided owners with the best opportunities to get their property back.
It's not just safe deposit boxes. A British man went to retire and discovered that the $4 million in U.S. stock he had been counting on had been seized and sold for just $200,000 years earlier. A Sacramento family lost out on railroad land rights ancestors had owned for generations.
Try to hang on to it would be millionaire, multimillionaire.
And it's not just California. In Delaware, unclaimed property is the 3rd largest source of state revenue. Idaho now keeps unclaimed property permanently if the rightful owners don't claim it within 10 short years. And all 50 states pay private contractors to seize accounts for them. It's an inherent conflict of interest. The more rightful owners are found, the less money the contractors make. And let's face it, in the internet era, most people are easy to find.
Do you see your own address on there?
I do.
I found you in about 5 minutes. So what's preventing you from finding the rightful owners of all this property?